Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Golden hour had arrived, filling the living space with a warm haze of light. Stunning rays cast themselves across the walls, enchanting the room with a breathtaking palette of reds, oranges, and yellows. In its embrace was Saoirse, flipping through the glossy pages of the latest trend report, her rich brown locks a cascading river beside her. Angelo sat close by, his eyes darting between his novel and Saoirse's lively expression. "Imagine having a sister to go through this with," Saoirse uttered, her voice laced with longing. Her emerald eyes shone with delight as she envisioned a fantasy of camaraderie only siblings might know. Angelo momentarily paused his reading, attention redirected towards Saoirse's passion. "Really, you yearn for that type of companionship?" Saoirse's gaze, fixated upon the images like a bright starry sky, spoke volumes of her enthusiasm. "Well, why don't you give me a makeover? I could be your sister for a day." Saoirse's jaw dropped. "Are you serious? You'd let me do that?" Angelo shrugged, trying to appear nonchalant despite the sudden flutter in his chest. "Sure, why not? It could be fun." Clapping her hands in excitement, Saoirse leapt off the couch. "Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing! Wait right here!" She dashed out of the room, leaving Angelo to wonder what he'd gotten himself into. He could hear her rummaging through drawers and closets, humming excitedly to herself. When Saoirse returned, her arms were laden with clothes, makeup, and various styling tools. She dumped everything onto the coffee table, grinning from ear to ear. "Okay, let's start with clothes. I think this would look fabulous on you." She held up a flowing blue sundress. Angelo eyed the garment warily. "Are you sure about this?" "Trust me," Saoirse winked. "You're going to look stunning." With a deep breath, Angelo nodded and took the dress. He disappeared into the bathroom to change, his heart pounding with a mixture of nervousness and excitement. When he emerged, Saoirse gasped. The dress hugged his figure in all the right places, accentuating curves he never knew he had. "Oh, Angelo, you look beautiful!" Saoirse exclaimed, circling him with admiration. "Now, let's do something about that hair." She guided him to a chair and began brushing his brown locks, which had grown quite long over the past few months. As she worked, Angelo found himself relaxing, enjoying the gentle tugging sensation on his scalp. "You know," Saoirse mused as she styled his hair, "I've always thought you'd make a pretty girl. You have such delicate features." Angelo felt a warmth spread through his chest at her words. He'd never thought about it before, but now that she mentioned it. "There," Saoirse announced, stepping back to admire her handiwork. She'd styled his hair into soft waves that framed his face beautifully. "Now for makeup." As Saoirse applied foundation, blush, and eyeshadow, Angelo found himself becoming more and more invested in the transformation. Each brushstroke seemed to reveal a part of himself he'd never known existed. "Close your eyes," Saoirse instructed as she prepared to apply mascara. Angelo complied, feeling the gentle sweep of the wand on his lashes. "And open." Angelo's eyes fluttered open, meeting Saoirse's delighted gaze. "Oh my God," she breathed. "You look absolutely stunning. Come see." She led him to the full-length mirror in the hallway. Angelo's breath caught in his throat as he took in his reflection. The person staring back at him was beautiful, feminine, and strangely familiar. I don't know what to say, Angelo whispered, touching his face in wonder. Saoirse squeezed his shoulder. How does it feel?
It feels right,
Angelo admitted, surprise coloring his voice.
like I'm seeing myself for the first time.
A comfortable silence fell between them as Angelo continued to study his reflection. Saoirse watched, a knowing smile playing on her lips. You know, she said softly, if this is something you want to explore more, I'm here for you. Angelo turned to her, eyes glistening with unshed tears. Really? Of course. Saoirse pulled him into a hug. That's what sisters are for, right? As they embraced, Angelo felt something shift inside him. It was as if a door had been unlocked, revealing a truth he'd always known, but never acknowledged.
Saoirse,
he said, his voice trembling slightly. I think I might be transgender. Saoirse pulled back, her face radiating warmth and acceptance. I'm so proud of you for saying that. How do you feel?
Scared,
Angelo admitted.
but also relieved, like I've finally figured out why I've always felt different.
Saoirse took his hands in hers.
Well, no matter what, I'm here for you, every step of the way.
Angelo smiled, feeling a weight lift off his shoulders. Thank you. I think I'd like to try using she, her pronouns. And maybe I could go by Saoirse too. Saoirse's eyes widened in surprise. You want to use my name?
If that's okay.
Angelo, now Saoirse, said shyly.
It means freedom in Irish, right? That's how I feel right now. Free.
Tears welled up in Saoirse's eyes.
I'd be honored to share my name with you. Welcome to sisterhood, Saoirse.
The two embraced again, both feeling the significance of this moment. As they pulled apart, the newly christened Saoirse glanced back at her reflection. So, she said, a hint of excitement in her voice. What's next? Saoirse grinned. Well, sister dear, I think it's time we went shopping. You're going to need a whole new wardrobe. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity as Saoirse began her transition. They started with small steps, painting her nails, learning to walk in heels, practicing makeup techniques. Each new skill brought a surge of joy and confidence. One sunny afternoon, the sisters found themselves in a bustling department store, arms laden with clothes to try on. Okay, Saoirse, the original, said, surveying the dressing room. Let's start with casual wear and work our way up to more formal outfits. Saoirse, formerly Angelo, nodded, excitement bubbling in her chest. She slipped into a pair of skinny jeans and a flowy top, marveling at how different she felt in clothes that actually fit her identity. As she emerged from the changing room, her sister clapped her hands in delight. Oh, you look amazing! How does it feel? It feels like me, Saoirse replied, twirling to see herself from all angles. I can't believe I spent so long not knowing this part of myself. They continued trying on outfits, giggling and offering opinions. Saoirse found herself drawn to soft fabrics and feminine cuts, reveling in the way they accentuated her evolving figure. As they were checking out, Saoirse caught sight of a beautiful green dress on a nearby rack. Her breath caught in her throat. Go try it on, her sister urged, noticing her longing gaze. Saoirse hesitated. I don't know. It's pretty fancy. Where would I wear it? Who cares? If you love it, you should have it. Every girl needs a knockout dress in her closet." With a shy smile, Saoirse took the dress and disappeared into the changing room. When she emerged, both sisters gasped. The dress fit like a glove, highlighting every curve and making her brown hair shine. For the first time, Saoirse truly saw herself as the woman she was meant to be. "I think we have a winner," her sister said softly, eyes shining with pride. As they left the store, bags in hand, Saoirse felt a newfound confidence. She stood taller, her steps lighter. This was just the beginning of her journey, but already she felt more at home in her skin than ever before. The weeks turned into months, and Saoirse continued to blossom. She started hormone therapy, watching with joy as her body slowly aligned with her true self. Her sister was there every step of the way, offering support, advice, and plenty of sister bonding activities. One evening, as they sat on the couch painting each other's nails, Saoirse broached a subject that had been on her mind. "I think I'm ready to come out to our parents," she said, carefully applying a coat of shimmering polish to her sister's nails. Her sister looked up, surprise and concern mingling in her expression. "Are you sure? There's no rush, you know." Saoirse nodded. "I'm sure. I've been living as myself for months now, and it feels wrong to keep hiding it from them. Plus," she added with a small smile, "I'd like to be able to wear that green dress to family dinners." Her sister laughed, squeezing her hand. "All right then. How do you want to do this?" They spent the next hour planning, deciding that a family dinner would be the best setting. It would be casual enough to put everyone at ease, but also provide the opportunity for a serious conversation. The night of the dinner arrived, and Saoirse found herself pacing nervously in her room. She'd chosen a simple blue dress for the occasion, wanting to present her authentic self without being too overwhelming. A soft knock at the door interrupted her thoughts. Her sister poked her head in, smiling reassuringly. "Ready?" Saoirse took a deep breath, smoothing down her dress. "As I'll ever be." They made their way downstairs, where their parents were setting the table. Their mother looked up, her eyes widening slightly at Saoirse's appearance. "Oh, Angelo," she said, a note of confusion in her voice. "You look different." Saoirse swallowed hard, feeling her sister's supportive presence beside her. "Actually, Mom, Dad, there's something I need to tell you." Her father set down the plate he was holding, giving her his full attention.
"What is it, son?"
The word son sent a pang through Saoirse's heart, but she pressed on. "I've discovered something about myself recently, something that explains a lot about how I've felt my whole life." She took another deep breath. "I'm transgender. I'm a woman." A heavy silence fell over the room. Saoirse's heart pounded in her chest as she watched emotions flicker across her parents' faces. Shock, confusion, concern. Finally, her mother spoke. I don't understand. You've never shown any signs." "Actually," her sister interjected gently, "there have been signs. We just didn't recognize them for what they were." Their father ran a hand through his hair, his brow furrowed. "This is a lot to take in. Are you sure about this? Saoirse," she supplied. "I've chosen to go by Saoirse now. And yes, Dad, I've never been more sure of anything in my life." Another silence fell, less shocked this time, more contemplative. Saoirse waited, hardly daring to breathe. Then, Slowly, her mother stepped forward and enveloped her in a hug.
"Oh, my child,"
she whispered, her voice thick with emotion.
"I had no idea you were carrying this. I'm so sorry."
Tears sprang to Saoirse's eyes as she returned the embrace.
"It's okay, Mom."
"I didn't know either. Not for a long time." Her father joined the hug, his strong arms encircling both of them.
"This is unexpected,"
he said gruffly.
"But you're our child. We love you, no matter what."
Saoirse's sister completed the family embrace, and for a moment, they all stood there, united in love and acceptance. As they pulled apart, wiping away tears, Saoirse's mother cupped her face gently.
"Saoirse,"
she said, testing out the name. "It suits you, my beautiful daughter." The dinner that followed was filled with questions, explanations, and moments of awkwardness, but underlying it all was a current of love and support. Saoirse felt as if a huge weight had been lifted from her shoulders. She was seen, truly seen, for the first time by her family. As the weeks passed, Saoirse's confidence grew. She started venturing out more, no longer afraid of being recognized or judged. Her sister was her constant companion, helping her navigate the world as her true self. One sunny afternoon, they decided to have a picnic in the park. Saoirse wore her favorite blue sundress, her brown hair flowing freely in the breeze. As they spread out their blanket under a shady tree, she couldn't help but marvel at how different her life had become.
"I never thought I could be this happy,"
she confessed, taking a bite of her sandwich. Her sister smiled warmly.
"You deserve all the happiness in the world, Saoirse. I'm so proud of how far you've come."
As they chatted and laughed, enjoying the beautiful day, Saoirse noticed a group of people nearby setting up for what looked like a small gathering. Colorful banners fluttered in the breeze, and she could hear upbeat music playing. Curiosity piqued, she turned to her sister. "What do you think that's about?" Her sister shrugged. "Why don't we go check it out?" Hand in hand, they approached the gathering. As they got closer, Saoirse's heart leapt. It was a small community fair, with booths set up for various local organizations. One booth in particular caught her eye. A banner above it read, "Trans Support Network." Saoirse felt a mix of nervousness and excitement.
"Do you want to go talk to them?"
her sister asked gently. Saoirse nodded, gathering her courage. As they approached the booth, a friendly-looking woman with a warm smile greeted them. "Hello there. I'm Emily. Are you interested in learning more about our organization?" Saoirse took a deep breath. "Actually, I'm transgender. I've recently started my transition, and I was wondering if you could tell me more about your support services." Emily's face lit up. "Of course! We're so glad you found us. We offer a range of services, from support groups to resources for medical transition. Would you like some information?" As Emily explained the various programs and handed Saoirse some brochures, she felt a sense of belonging wash over her. Here were people who understood her journey, who could offer guidance and support. "We have a social meetup next week," Emily mentioned. "It's very casual, just a chance for members of the trans community to get together and chat. Would you be interested in coming?" Saoirse glanced at her sister, who nodded encouragingly. "I'd love to," she said, surprised by her own eagerness. As they walked away from the booth, Saoirse clutched the brochures to her chest, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. "Are you okay?" her sister asked. Saoirse nodded, a smile spreading across her face. I'm more than okay. I feel like I'm finally finding my place in the world. The day of the social meetup arrived, and Saoirse found herself standing in front of her closet, agonizing over what to wear. Her sister lounged on the bed, offering advice. How about that green dress? She suggested. You haven't had a chance to wear it yet. Saoirse bit her lip, considering. Isn't it a bit much for a casual meetup? Her sister shrugged. Sometimes you need to make an entrance. Plus, you look amazing in it. Decision made, Saoirse slipped into the green dress. As she looked at herself in the mirror, she couldn't help but smile. The person looking back at her was confident, beautiful, and unequivocally herself. The meetup was held at a local cafe, its warm atmosphere immediately putting Saoirse at ease. As she and her sister entered, they were greeted by Emily from the fair. Saoirse, I'm so glad you could make it, Emily said warmly. And who's this? This is my sister, Saoirse replied, squeezing her sister's hand gratefully. She's been my rock through all of this. Emily beamed. It's wonderful that you have such a supportive family. Come on, let me introduce you to everyone. As they mingled, Saoirse found herself relaxing more and more. She met people at various stages of their transitions, each with their own unique story. There was laughter, understanding, and a sense of camaraderie that she'd never experienced before. One woman, in particular, caught Saoirse's attention. Her name was Olivia, and she had a warm smile and kind eyes. As they chatted, Saoirse found herself drawn to Olivia's quiet confidence and gentle humor. As the evening wore on, Saoirse realized she was having more fun than she'd had in years. She felt seen and understood in a way she never had before. When it was time to leave, Olivia approached her. It was really great meeting you, Saoirse. Would you like to grab coffee sometime? It's always nice to have friends who understand what you're going through. Saoirse felt a flutter in her chest. I'd love that, she replied, exchanging numbers with Olivia. As she and her sister left the cafe, Saoirse couldn't stop smiling. Thank you for coming with me, she said, hugging her sister tightly. Her sister hugged her back. Always. So, what did you think? Saoirse looked up at the star-filled sky, feeling a sense of peace wash over her. I think I've finally found my people, my community. Her sister squeezed her hand. I'm so happy for you, Saoirse. This is just the beginning of your journey. As they walked home, Saoirse felt a profound sense of gratitude for her sister, who had sparked this journey with a simple makeover, for her parents, who were learning and growing alongside her, for the new friends she'd made, who understood her in ways others couldn't. But most of all, she felt grateful for herself, for having the courage to embrace her true identity, to step into the light and live authentically. As they reached their front door, Saoirse paused, looking back at the twinkling city lights. She thought about the little boy who had always felt out of place, who had never quite fit in his own skin. She wished she could go back and tell him that everything would be okay, that one day he would become the woman he was always meant to be. But that wasn't possible. Instead, she could only move forward, living each day as her true self, and hopefully inspiring others to do the same. Ready to go in? Her sister asked, keys in hand. Saoirse nodded, a serene smile on her face. Ready for anything? She replied. As they stepped inside, Saoirse knew that while her journey was far from over, she was on the right path. With her loving family, new friends, and growing confidence, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The future stretched out before her, full of possibilities, and for the first time in her life, Saoirse couldn't wait to see what it held.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!